Hello, and welcome back to the Misty Morrison podcast. I'm your host, Misty Morrison, and this is episode 47 of Was I in the Wrong? Before we get into the stories for today, our usual housekeeping. Whether you are new or returning, please remember to engage with the content to help the channel grow. Whether you are watching on YouTube, listening on podcast, watching shorts on YouTube, on TikTok, Reels on Instagram or Facebook, please like, subscribe, rate, review, share it with a friend, comment with your thoughts on the stories down below, all the things. Yeah. Me and my scissors had a fight. I think the scissors won. I was struggling with the shape of my hair as it was growing out, and I couldn't get it right. So I finally tried again, and I went shorter than I intended. So that's why I had claw clips in the last two videos, because I'm figuring out how to work with the super short. It's too short. I don't know what to do with it. I did realize very quickly that the center part does not work with curly hair this short because it poofs out the bottom, and it's very much giving Lord Farquaad. So we're doing a side part. We're trying. I wore a hat earlier because it was cold and it was wet when I put the hat on, so it dried really flat, and we're just struggling. It's fine. Okay, so into our stories for the day. Story number 1 is coming to us from r/would I be the a-hole. My girlfriend is complaining that the ring I got her was not expensive. So I, 30 male, have been with my girlfriend, 31 female, for about a year, and I recently proposed. I'm not in the best financial situation. I am a convicted felon, and it's been hard for me to find stable work, so money's tight, but I still wanted to get her something. And after thinking about it a lot, I ended up scrounging up what I could to get a ring. It's not huge or flashy, but it's something that I thought was nice and that she'd like. She's been complaining about the price of the ring since I gave it to her. She says it's too cheap and that I should have spent more, that it's just not enough and not a proper ring for something so important. I tried explaining that I'm doing the best I can and I didn't want to go into debt or buy something I couldn't afford just to impress her. But she keeps bringing it up, and it's really getting to me. I feel like I've put in the effort and thought, and she's not appreciating it, and it makes me wonder if she values the right things in a relationship. I've been honest with her about my situation, and I didn't promise anything extravagant. It just seems like she's more focused on what the ring costs than on the meaning behind it. So now I'm wondering if I'm just wasting my time. Would I be the asshole for breaking up with her because of this? No. I don't think so. I think you're right. I mean, I hate that it took you proposing to see her true colors, but it has only been a year, so that's not a big surprise for me. But yeah, you put in the effort, you tried, when she complained about it first, you explained your reasons. But it doesn't. It's not the fact that she doesn't like it and that she doesn't think you spent enough. I can see where she's coming from, but for me, it's the fact that she's harping on it because it shouldn't matter. Ultimately, it shouldn't matter. If she loves you, if you don't, if it really hurts her feelings, then she doesn't have to wear it. Or, she could just be, wear it until you guys are married and then just take it off and wear her wedding band. There are options. Okay, so I'll be honest. When I got engaged, my husband, then fiance, proposed without a ring. And I was really glad he did that because I never wanted him to think that I said yes to the ring. I always wanted to know that he knew I said yes to him. So I was glad he proposed without a ring. But, of course, I did want a ring. So for Christmas that year, we got engaged in May, and for Christmas, he got me the ring. And strike number 1, that felt like a cop-out of not having to get me a gift. He's like, oh, I need to get the ring anyway, so I'll just do it for Christmas, and I won't have to get her a separate gift. I wasn't a fan of that, but whatever. And so he gave me the ring, and since he proposed without a ring, he had asked me what I wanted. And he was working full-time, so he asked me what I wanted, and I said, I'm not particular about the color, whether it's yellow gold, white gold. I don't want rose gold. So either of the other, like 2 main gold colors, I just don't want it plated or filled because, a ring you wear in your hand all the time, the plating is going to wear off really easily. I just want a solid metal, solid gold. And he's like, do you want diamond? Do you want a colored stone? Like, I'm not particular whether it's a diamond or a colored stone, just whatever stone it is. I want it to be a real mine stone, not lab grown. And as far as style, I did tell him I love halo rings. Didn't matter of the shape. I didn't want square, but I wanted a halo ring. In my mind, that's gave like a wide array of options to choose from. And so Christmas Day, I open the ring and it is yellow gold plated over sterling silver. It is not a halo ring. It's actually a style of ring that I'm really not a fan of. So, take it, say thank you, wear it. The plating did wear off really quickly. And it always kind of hurt my feelings. It was only a $100 ring, and it didn't hurt my feelings how much he paid for it. It hurt my feelings that he asked what I wanted and then got me pretty much the opposite of what I wanted. It's like you asked, but then you didn't listen. The only thing about the cost that did hurt me a little bit was he had messed up and told me whenever he was with his prior girlfriend, he had bought a ring. He was going to propose. They've been together for a long time. And he told me what that ring cost. And, he got me a $100 ring and he had got her a $1,200 or $1,500 ring. I can't remember now. But that it wasn't the amount that he spent. It was the fact that monetarily, she was worth that much more to him. That hurt. Yeah. So, the rings do mean a lot. It is a symbol that you wear to show your commitment. And it does matter. But that ring should not mean enough to her that the ring is a make or break thing in your relationship. It's if she had an issue with it, you guys could have talked about it and talked about, how to do something better with your wedding bands, but it doesn't seem like that's what happened. It's just not enough. It's just not a proper ring. It's too cheap. And she keeps bringing it up, and that's where I feel like the problem is, because you're right. She doesn't appreciate the effort. Knowing your situation, she doesn't appreciate the time and the effort that you put in to try to get something that she liked. I really think that's where the disconnect is. She doesn't appreciate the effort, and it does seem like you really put in effort. So I don't think you are wrong at all for wanting to break up over this. All right, story number 2 is coming to us from r/pick A or B. A or B, my old college friend I haven't spoken to in 5 years suddenly called to tell me he's getting married and straight up asked me to buy him a dishwasher as a wedding gift. I ended up just sending him $200. Was I wrong? Immediately, yes, but we'll get into it after. Probably not for the reason that some are thinking. We went to college together and even shared an apartment for 2 years after graduation. Later, he moved to another city for work. When things were rough at first, I gave him advice and even lent him $1,000 to help him out. A year later, I went to that city for a sports game. He treated me to a $100 dinner and introduced me to his girlfriend. After that, we barely talked again. Literally 5 years of total silence. Then, out of nowhere, he calls me. We catch up for a few minutes. It's friendly enough, but right before hanging up, he goes, "Hey, can you buy us a dishwasher for the wedding? As a gift." I was honestly stunned. WTF, he really asked me that out loud? A dishwasher after 5 years of zero contact. I told him I couldn't make the wedding because of work, but on the day of, I sent $200 through a mutual friend. I figured it covered the dinner he once paid for and felt fair. It's not that I can't afford a dishwasher. It just felt weird and kind of transactional. Like, are we even friends anymore? Or am I just a convenient entry on his gift list? So, was I wrong? A, I was wrong. It's his big day. I should have just sent the gift and celebrated his happiness. B, I was right. 5 years of silence doesn't give you the right to drop a wedding bill on someone. you were right. B. My first and primary question is, you said you lent him $1,000. Did he ever pay you back the $1,000? That kind of makes a big difference here. Yeah, you were right. This feels very transactional. He's just like, it's like he's digging through his Rolodex to see, who was I friends with for long enough at some point, or close enough to at some point, that they would probably feel bad if they didn't send a gift. That's what this feels like. You were right to not buy the dishwasher. I mean, even that's such a weird and specific thing to ask for, because I wouldn't want someone else picking out my dishwasher. Yeah, like just take the money. Like if you need a dishwasher, take the money that you get as gifts from the wedding and buy a dishwasher. Pick it yourself. Let's see. So you sent $200 because it covered the dinner and felt fair. You didn't ask him for that $100 dinner. He treated you to that. It sounds like he invited you for that. He wanted to introduce you to his girlfriend at the time. You didn't have a need to pay him back unless you kind of just wanted to feel like free and clear and done. So you covered the dinner basically, plus sent an extra $100 as a gift. He didn't deserve that at all. Like, you guys haven't spoken in 5 years. You are not friends anymore. Former friends, acquaintances. You're not a part of each other's lives. To me, $200 is an incredibly generous gift, even for a wedding. So, yeah. I mean, at most, I think $100 because it covered the dinner. Especially because you didn't go to the wedding, so you were not an expense for them. I mean, after 5 years, most I would have sent was $50. Maximum, I probably wouldn't have done that, because you're not friends. Yeah, definitely B. Okay. Story number 3 is coming to us from r/pick A or B. A or B. You buy something at the grocery store that it turns out you don't like. Pick A or B. You buy something at the grocery store that it turns out you do not like. It's not spoiled, you just don't care for it. Do you A, return it for a full refund knowing that you can and rationalizing that the store expects refunds, or B, throw it out and take your loss because you made the choice to try it and there was nothing wrong with the product? B. Throw it out and take your loss because you made the choice to try it and there's nothing wrong with the product. Why should the grocery store have to foot the bill for your decision that you made that you're unhappy with? That does not seem fair. That doesn't make sense to me. If there's something wrong with it, if it's spoiled, yeah, absolutely, the grocery store shouldn't have sold it. Take it back. But you just decided, I'm going to try something new, and got it home, tried it. You're like, it's not really for me. That's a choice that you made. Losing that bit of money that you spent on that item is the literal cost that you pay for that choice. You tried something new, you didn't like it. All right, you learned your lesson. You lost the money. You won't try something like that again. I feel like that is the cost of the lesson. All right, story number 4 is coming to us from r/Am I the Jerk? AITJ for reporting my coworker after she asked me to sneak her boyfriend's resume through our vendor portal. I'm junior ops at a mid-company. I have admin access to our vendor portal to open requests and move candidates to manager review. A coworker I like asked me to help her boyfriend by dropping his resume straight to shortlist, so he skips the first screen. She said nobody gets hurt, he's good anyway, and I do this clicky stuff all day. I said, I can't, it violates policy, and if he's strong, he'll pass the phone screen. Next day, I see a new log on my account moving his file. I panic, change password, and ask IT for an access trail. It shows the change came from my workstation at 12:41 when I was at lunch. It was a coworker. Camera shows she badged into our area to borrow a charger. I reported to compliance. They locked the request and her boyfriend was removed. Now she's furious, says I ruined his shot and that friends cover for each other. A couple teammates are cold to me because we all bend rules. I feel sick, but also this is my login and my job on the line. HR says investigation is ongoing and to keep quiet. Am I the jerk for escalating instead of just talking to her first? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. You protected your job. She asked you and you said you wouldn't. That should have been the end of the line if she was a better person. But she's not. She took it upon herself to literally basically steal your information to make it look like you did something that you were not okay with, you did not agree to. And really the audacity that she just expected that you were going to let it slide. Like you wouldn't notice, or you would notice and you just let it go after you already said you were not okay with it because it was breaking policy. At work, I am a very much follow the policy person. Policies are in place for a reason, probably because at one point somebody did something stupid and ruined it for everyone else, but policies are in place for a reason. And when you follow the policies, you really do protect yourself. You did exactly the right thing. You realized someone used your login, unauthorized access. You reported it, as you should have. He should have been removed. That you did not ruin his shot. She ruined his shot by trying to supersede the procedures. She ruined his shot. She said, friends cover for each other. You're at work. You're not friends right now. You're coworkers. Even if were friends outside of work, when you enter that building, you are not friends. You are coworkers. That is the way it should be. And as far as the teammates, you can kind of file them away in the same box that you're filing her in now, because we all bend rules. You don't. You don't bend those kinds of rules. Let's see. HR investigation. No, you are absolutely right for escalating this. You guys had already talked about it before she took matters into her own hands. Clearly, she was not going to be reasonable about it. There was no reason for you to talk to her any further. And the top comment on here, the first comment, says, NTA, and if it was discovered in an audit trail, you'd have been sacked. Always cover your own arse. Report any unauthorized activity and let the criminal face the consequences. And whether or not it was criminal, that's completely right. Like if IT looks into your stuff for any reason and they find that, you would have immediately been fired. By reporting, you are the person who's in the right. Where I work with our risk department, the policy is, even if you did something wrong, as long as you report it, as soon as you realize you did something wrong, you cannot be fired for it. But as long as you report within 24 hours, but if you know about it, or even if someone else did something wrong and you know about it, but you don't report it, then you can be fired for it. So if you know something, say something. It's a good policy. All right, story number 5 is coming to us from r/AITAH. AITAH for not going to friend's birthday. My immediate response is, you're never the asshole for opting out of a party of any kind. I, 25 female, have a friend, 26 female, who is now mad at me because I didn't attend her birthday. For context, she's been talking to me about for weeks now, and how she didn't really want to do it because she was unsure if people would come or not. I told her to just do it, even if it's not the turnout she expected. Keep in mind, she never said what day or time she was doing this. I get up for work at 3 a.m. and have to drive an hour to be there for 5 a.m. I know she wakes up later, so I text her around 8:45 a.m. just asking if she was doing it tonight and what her plans were. I got nothing all day, but she continued to post on her story and socials. So when I got home that day around 4, I tried to call her, but nothing was answered. Not even a text responding to my 8:49 text. Then I received a call from my brother and his girlfriend, who just had my niece a couple months back, asking if I'd like to go to dinner, which is an hour out, so I said sure. My boyfriend and I headed out towards them, and we went and had dinner with them. All of a sudden, she's texting me, blowing up my phone, and I won't lie, I did kind of ghost because I was out to dinner with my family. Like I said before, she never gave me an exact day or time. Ended up going home early and passing out because I was just so tired and completely out of it. The next morning, I get a text saying, "Thanks for bailing on me." So I texted back saying there was never an exact plan and that I was sorry I shouldn't have ghosted, but also like there was no plan set in stone. And now she's basically saying that I use her and that I'm a bad friend because I knew everything, but I genuinely did not. I just know she wanted a birthday and she wanted her friends to come, and she didn't know that if the outcome will be how she wanted it. And I was the one that told her she should just do it. But when it came down to the actual plans, I knew nothing that was happening. I didn't know even if she was going to be home that night. I didn't know if it was going to be happening that night. I've apologized countless times, but I feel like I did nothing wrong. And now being told I'm a shitty friend, which also makes me so mad because I've helped her when she needs money for anything. I'm always there for her when she needs to vent, or gone out of my way to help her and her husband with anything they need. AITAH, sorry if this is worded badly, I've never done this before. The ending of that had 0 punctuation. There's like, okay, I can see 1 period, and the last part of that is just completely run on. No, you are right. You did nothing wrong here. You shouldn't have apologized for all, because she literally ghosted you that whole day. She didn't respond to anything, but she was active on her phone. So it was not wrong of you at all to not respond to her when you were at dinner with your family. That's completely fair. And you're not wrong regardless of that, because she did not. I hate that. I hate that so much when people talk generally about plans and they're not concreted. And then when you don't show up to something that you didn't have a time, day, location for, then you're the one who did something wrong for not showing up when you didn't know you were supposed to show up. That gets me so much. I'm a planner. I like to have a plan. I want to know what we're doing, when, where we're going, who's involved. I need all the details. I want all the details so I can make my own plan. Yeah, that's, if you didn't have a day and a time to be there, it is not your fault. If this is the way she's going to act after what a good friend you have been to her, just write this one off. Write this one off. She showed her true colors on this day, and you can be done and just have better friends in your life. You were right. Don't apologize. Don't feel bad for anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that is 5 stories for this week's episode of Was I in the Wrong? Thank you so much for being here, for following along for another episode of the Misty Marson podcast, and I will see you next time for another episode. Bye.